Now, the United States has removed anti-Iran group Mujahideen Khalq organization, the MKO, from its list of terrorist entities. A U.S. appeals court had given Secretary of State Hillary Clinton until October to decide on the fate of the group. The MKO is responsible for assassinating over 17,000 Iranians after the 1979 Islamic Revolution. Members of the group fled to Iraq in the 80s and joined former Iraqi dictator Saddam Hussein in his war against Iran. The MKO even helped Saddam to crush uprisings by Iraqi Kurds and Shias in the 1990s. After Saddam's fall in 2003, the group acted as an intelligence apparatus for U.S. forces. Well, to discuss this move recently by Washington, I'm joined from Washington by Michael Malouf, former Pentagon official. Welcome to the program, sir. Mr. Malouf, technically speaking, the U.S. is delisting the MKO as an organization. But what about its individuals, those who make up this organization? It seems whoever the head of the MKO accepts as member will not be considered as a terrorist from now on, and even if he's the most wanted terrorist in the world.
Well, that's correct, and they're all off the hook as a consequence. But even internally inside the State Department, there was consternation and concern about that. The MKO or the MEK still does not adhere to democratic principles, and in fact they were involved very early on in killing Americans and even launched terrorist attacks in the United States in years past. Now all of that's been wiped away. All of that's been is going to be overlooked. It really reflects the possibility that the United States and even Israel now is engaged in supporting the MKO, not only in assassinating Iranian nuclear scientists, but it actually places those two countries on a level of supporting terrorism as a consequence. And I'm really disturbed by it. And I think the issue of delisting them did not go without considerable internal debate within the United States government.
Well, I mean, if this MKO organization is expelled from Iraq, what will be the how will the members seek asylum elsewhere, politically speaking?
Well, that's going to be a good question. I'm sure they're going to come under the protection of the United States. They'll be moved to safer areas that's under in which the U.S. might have some jurisdiction and control. But I think that the delisting of the MKO is a very serious development in that this reflects something more serious, and it reflects the possibility that the United States sees the MKO as a very strong internal organization within Iran itself, with the idea and with the goal of ultimately seeking regime change, and I think that is precisely what the United States is looking for at this point. Not just trying to stop Iran's nuclear program, but ultimately regime change, and they're going to use the MKO and its internal structure to do that. And they've proven to be quite effective, and the Israelis certainly have used them to get right up next to Iranian nuclear scientists. And I think that this is a very serious development.
Indeed, and of course we know that the MKO has been involved in assassinating Iranians and especially Iranian scientists. But just how will they operate if they are expelled from Iraq? I mean, expelled from a country which is close to Iran, how will they operate from now on if they are distanced from Iran?
Well, I think they're going to I think they still have contacts within the country. You're going to have there is a network. They have an incredible network, and you've actually had the spokesman for the MKO saying that now, as a result of being delisted, their next step is to go and seek regime change, and that implies to me, at least, that they have a network ready to go into effect and to do the U.S. and Israeli bidding.
And finally, what political repercussions will this have for America, despite the fact that we know that the MKO had killed American officials in the past, and of course, especially at this very critical time, being the U.S. elections?
Well, I think most Americans don't really follow this. They're going to follow the lead of the United States government because they really haven't followed the intricacies of the MKO, its history. But I think it shows a conflict in overall U.S. policy. It's the same with us backing basically a terrorist group that remains a terrorist group because they still intend to undertake terrorist activities within Iran. But at the same time, it shows that the United States is, like with Syria, it's backing opposition members, many of whom belong to al-Qaeda. So it's as though we forgot about September 11th. And I think that this really reflects a serious conflict in overall U.S. policy in trying to fight terrorism and joining with countries such as Iran and others who are opposed to terrorism, and no matter what form.
Indeed, and of course, according to one observer, now that the MKO has been removed from the terror list, it will also help them in fundraising activities inside the United States. Anyway, we'll have to leave it there for the time being. Many thanks to Michael Malouf, former Pentagon official from Washington. Thanks for your time there, sir.